Oops. If your headset's turned on, Bob. There we go. All right. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are here for another edition of Mud Mule TV via Bobbeth TV on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This is the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League. We're at our final race of the... Oh, as one of those cars hits the wall. That looks like that was the 17 of Buffalo Bill Shermatz, but we're here for the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League finale race of the current season, Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're in Concord, USA. It has come down to this. Rick Shotgun Kelly. Where's Rick Shotgun Kelly on the track? There he is. There's Rick. Come down to Rick, and it's come down to... Oh, let's see if Chad's got the car. I got a picture this morning. Where's Chad's car? Like it's in the pits, or it's not on the track. But, yeah, wait till you see that one. All right, let's get back down to the track. Just got about 15 seconds left in practice. Chad Biesinger is our current quickest one out there, 31.091, but that is with a draft with cars on the track. John Burnside, 31.110, and Chad's opponent for the championship mantle, for the title of champion of the NASCAR Cup League for the Senior Circuit, Rick Shotgun Kelly, 31.160. So not a lot of time, 500ths of a second basically between Rick and Chad. But this is what's going to decide sort of how easy you make it on yourself qualifying here at Charlotte. Qualifying at Charlotte, generally, I find when I'm here at Charlotte, but I race trucks mostly, that the qualifying inside line, just blast it through the inside line on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Cut that little bit of dog leg out as you come through, just to keep the track a little bit shorter, a little bit straighter. And yeah, you should expect around a 31. I'm going to say if they were running 31.0, 31.1s in practice, would run probably a 31.3, 31.5 would be your target time. We need a NASCAR Racing 2003 version of this. I think I've got a copy of 2003 somewhere. I just need someone who's good at making paints on 2003. Wink, wink, Taz Taylor. How are you, buddy? By the way, congratulations. Also, I don't say this. Yeah, I mean, we're mates, and obviously I'll pump up a mate, but I don't say this lightly. One of the better flag wavers out there on the circuit, Taz Taylor, has picked up a couple of gigs doing the old flag waving, so good on you, Taz. I know you love doing it. So Barney, our Barney, he's watched you since he was a kid, basically, our flag waver. All right, got some times coming in. Chris Standridge. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's just stay on the 23 for one moment there, and look, for no reason in particular, we'll just get a good look at this 23 race car. This one is up for the championship. Nope, not that cam. His opponent, Rick Shotgun Kelly. That is Chad Biesinger, BSR. Not sure if that's just Biesinger Racing or what the S might stand for, but that is Chad Biesinger. All right, let's get back to what I'm actually paid to do, and that's call the big leagues. We've got John Burnside. Now, I don't remember John's name from the last few races, so I feel like he may be on debut here. 31.173. I was saying 33.3s to 33.5s, which is pretty much third to ninth. But a couple of guys there a little bit quicker. Chad Biesinger, 31.127. Secures pole with that run. 31.173. Of course, John Burnside's moved to second. Warren the Flying Fossil Moore, 31.233. 31.318. Jim Tasman Wardlow there in third and fourth. Joshua Brayley in fifth. I think he's a new guy as well. 31.421. Philip Pedersen, 31.456. He is in sixth place. Seventh place, Christopher Standridge, 31.479. Chad Biesinger's opponent for this championship run. Rick Shotgun Kelly in 8th, 31.548. Now I've got the hiccups. 31.560. John the General Shumats and Tim Ruark, 31.708. That is 10 guys that have qualified so far. Mate, look, as I say, if you can't, this is what this platform's for, is pumping up my mates, pumping up my friends, getting some good driving out on the screen and, you know, shouting people out. I do believe there might be an SRX series in our future. I'm just not 100% certain. We've got a few shows that are coming back. We've got a few dates that are free. So it just really depends on if I can be available for the people when they're going to put it on those days. But I have talked to a couple of the different guys that I broadcast, and they have mentioned SRX. Buffalo Bill Shumat's on our screen. Philip Peterson was the other car out on the track. Philip locked in a 31.456 for 6th place. I feel like we've got more cars, some that just haven't qualified. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so still waiting on Craig Hawkins, Stu, a kid, Wrench Right, and we know Buffalo Bill was out there, but or was he? No, John the General. Maybe we did see Buffalo Bill, but he just make sure sounds are off. Yeah, they are good. But yeah, no, I'll broadcast anything if someone wants to run it, and I've got an opening on the schedule. Then yeah, by all means. I mean, obviously, none Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, generally taken up by Knuckleheads iRacing League. Wednesday nights, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, but Chris and I have already spoken about his next version of this series and how long he plans to run them for over the 6 race championships. And so, yeah, I think Wednesday nights will be NASCAR Cup Series night for a while. And then that leaves Thursday, Friday nights in the US. I've got a Friday night Australian, which is Friday morning, sorry, in the US. But yeah, if the schedule's open, I'll do anything, mate. I'm a whore for money. I love it. No, no. All right, the cars are starting to line up in the pits. I don't think we've got a good grid lineup here for these cars, camera-wise. But there they are. We've got the 23, Chad Biesinger. He'll start on pole. Outside pole alongside him will be the one of John Burnside. Then we've got Warren, the Flying Fossil Moore, and Jim Tasman Wardlow. They'll be on the second row. Third row is going to be Joshua Brayley and Philip Peterson. Fourth row, Christopher Standridge, Rick Shot, Gunner Kelly, John the General Shumats, and Tim Ruark on the fifth row. Sixth row is going to be Craig Hawkins and Buffalo Bill Shumats. And Stu Kid Wrench Right. I'll get that right one day. On that seventh and final row. Appreciate it. A lot of the guys, we have been getting a lot of people on breaks or taking impromptu breaks to catch a bit of the race. Let's see, where's the camera gone? There we go. But and we do have great numbers on rewatch, so appreciate everyone that watches this. I think Facebook, out of this little experiment I've been doing with the YouTube, Twitches, and the Facebooks, that Facebook often, I think it has the best live numbers, the best engagement, and probably the best rewatch. Not really doing it to find out which one's the best one for the broadcast on, but just giving everyone an option, really. If you like Twitch, you can watch it on Twitch. If you like YouTube, you can watch it on YouTube. If you like Facebook and have been watching us on Facebook, stick around. All right, 70 laps of Charlotte. Look for at least one, maybe two pit stops. Maybe maybe a little bit of drafting, but you can run Charlotte depending on how you prefer to save your tyres. You can run Charlotte a number of ways. 3 and 4 can be quite good, staying up high and coming out low of 4 rather than holding tight on the line. You don't burn as much tyre and get a bit of speed, but as you do lose that front right, you do drift up into that wall on exit right as the boys are driving past there now, and it straightens up pretty quickly from experience. But these guys are going to show us how to... Oh, where have they gone? There we go. Stupid camera's not able to keep up with the action as we begin our 70-lap final round of the NASCAR Cup League, the senior circuit. Who will take out the championship right now? The favourite is Chad Biesinger, Rick Shotgun Kelly as well. Chad's our race leader as we start off. Rick Shotgun Kelly back in 8th. So let's see if that orange, sexy Mud Mule TV NASCAR Cup car can take it home from the start all the way. That backstretch for a second at a time in this race, and still a lot more laps to come. You're going to see these boys pretty much just line up, race the track, race themselves for the time being. Shouldn't see too much crazy passing attempts. There's the 22 and the 32. That's Rick Shotgun Kelly and the 32, the 22. Just gone off our screens there was Christopher Standridge, the 7th, Philip Peterson. There they are again. Up there in front of them is the 6 of Josh Braley. Braley. See on the track map, a little pack starting to form at the back there. That's led by Tim Ruark. John the General Schumatz is there. Craig Hawkins, Buffalo Bill Schumatz, Stu Kidd right. Possibly just hanging back with their own little draft group. Try and stay out of any of that action that may come their way. Coming out of 2, you do see cars get loose a little bit as the race goes on. If you come in too low in 3 and 4, you can get a bit loose if you touch the apron. If you are up a bit too high, as I say, it does straighten out a little bit. That line just comes right at you, so got to keep an eye out for some of those dangers. Jim Tasman Wardlow there. Funny news, actually. I mean, I don't know how much you guys will care about this, but one of Australia's national sports is Aussie rules football. It's a version of cross between soccer and rugby, and a little bit of difference. And Tasmania, we just got ourselves a team in the competition, and they're called the Tasmania Devils. And Warner Brothers, the head of Warner Brothers, that they had to talk to about using because of the naming rights of the Tasmanian Devil as seen on Tasman's car there. They weren't actually aware that the Tasmanian Devil is a real creature. It's not the same as the cartoon. It's completely different. Nah, the 23, Taz. The 23, mate. Look, let me just remind you what the 23 looks like. Look at that beautiful thing. Look at it. Look at it. No. No, I do have a bit of it, as I say, Tasmanian Devil. I do have a soft spot for Tasman's car as well. There's a lot of great looking race cars out there. Alright, as it come around out of 3 and 4, we're going to start our 8th of 70 laps. Chad Biesinger is still our race leader. He's got Warren the Flying Fossil Moore and John Burnside behind them. Jim Tasman Wardlow, we see him on the screen just back behind them a little bit further. Then there's a second group led by our second points leader, Rick Shotgun Kelly, Joshua Braley, Philip Peterson, Christopher Standridge is there. Back behind them, it's Craig Hawkins, Tim Ruark, John the General Schumatz, Buffalo Bill Schumatz, and Stu Kidd right. Plenty of time in this race left. No one needs to worry yet. We've got pit stops and everything to come. I wasn't actually even sure if the broadcast was going to go ahead today. We had a little bit of excitement at Bobbers TV studios. A nice person driving past recognised that one of our solar panel boxes was on fire on our roof, and kindly called the fire brigade and helped me put it out with a hose while we waited. But yeah, luckily only damage to the junction box for the solar panel, so still got full power, still got normal power, hydro power we have in Tasmania. But it's all go, go, go here. Been crazy this morning. There's the 47 and the 32. That's Warren the Flying Fossil Moore. He's in fourth place. Right behind him, Rick Shotgun Kelly, the 32 car. Then we see in third, up in front of them, Jim Tasman Wardlow. That means Rick Shotgun Kelly, he's making a play for that front pack. How long until he's up there with Chad Beesing and possibly John Burnside as well? As I say, still plenty of race to go. We're only at the first seventh of this race. 11 of 70 have been raced. We've still got 60 laps to come. How do we say that? Finesse G42. Hello, mate. You stream pretty cool. That's why I follow. I'd love to be a fan of yours. If you don't mind, kindly add me on Discord. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I will. I'll do that after the race. I will be. That's a nice segue, actually. Thank you, there, Mr. G42. We'll be firing up a Bobbers TV / Mudmule TV Discord. Just as a way of developing, I guess, a community as well. Facebook's great and all, but it's a good way for people to be able to reach out or to refer people on, things like that. So yeah, I'll definitely let you guys know about that once that is sorted. Coming up on lap 14, and we see there Rick Shotgun Kelly, Warren the Flying Fossil Moore, sorry Warren, forgot your name for a second there, and Jim Tasman Wardlow. Still a bit of a three-car pack. They do have another three-car pack behind them, Christopher Standridge, Philip Peterson and Josh Braley racing away there. That is the top six in this race. All right, back here, who have we got? That's Stu Kid Wrench right in the 1-3-1. He's got Buffalo Bill Shermats and Tim Ruak. Buffalo Bill behind him, Tim Ruak in front. Jump it back up to Jim Tasman Wardlow, Warren the Flying Fossil Moore, and Rick Shotgun Kelly. There, I'm sure they bunch up like this just to include as many nicknames as possible, just to keep me on my toes. Rick Shotgun Kelly, Warren the Flying Fossil Moore battled it out there, but Rick Shotgun Kelly just had the run. Is he going to try the same on Jim? Coming up on him pretty quick. There's Christopher Standridge, top of our screens. Here we go. Perfectly timed camera change. Rick Shotgun Kelly making a play for third place. He'll need to beat Chad. I think Chad, if I remember correctly, Chad has the most points in this race coming in. So for Rick, who's in second, he'll need to beat Chad and hope Chad falls back a few spots to claim the championship. Justin Stone, about time, my friend. I've got no idea who's going to win this race. You've finally shown up. Who is it going to be, my friend? You watch a few laps, let me know. Right now, Chad Biesinger is our championship points leader. It is the championship round for the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League. We're in Concord, USA. Of course, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 70 laps of action. We're coming up on lap 19 very soon. Chad Biesinger has led all 18 laps, sorry. Rick Shotgun Kelly, though, has moved himself up into third. 50 to 70 hours a week, mate. Oh, I remember when I used to do those sorts of hours, the phrase that got me through it all was, hang on, that's a week. Holy shit. I was thinking that's a fortnight for a second there. Fortnight's 2 weeks in Australia. I don't know if you guys use fortnight. I'd say 2 weeks. But that's a lot of hours, man. I was going to say, think of the money. But holy cow. Going to be 8 hours a day for work, 8 hours sleep, and 8 hours leisure, my friend. Not all of it work in the first week. Jesus. That's crazy, brother. Oh, little tap of that wall. That is, I believe, Stu Kidd. Right. Oh my God, I absolutely stroked on that name. Stu Kidd wrench right. We talked about that at the start of the race. We're only 20 laps in. Tyre wear will start to be a bit of a factor. As I say, if you come out a bit high of 4, it does straighten up a lot quicker than you expect, and you just sort of float up and tap that wall. It's sort of a natural way of racing out, floating up. See here, same there, but you sort of generally stop near the wall. But if you're not careful and if you're a bit lax about it, you will tag it. And I would like Rick Shotgun Kelly a lot more if he wasn't driving a Ford, but he does. So, you know, look, that's his own personal choice. Yeah, no, definitely hope you get back in the sim. And if you've got a goal, if you've got a sort of reward in mind at the end of it all, definitely makes it worthwhile, man. Definitely. I haven't raced much since I have had my sim back up. Some of the series I like to race in, the tracks have been a bit. How's your father? I think they're road coursing it at Coda with the trucks this week, so yeah, that's had me off the ball. 23 of 70. Chad Biesinger broken away a little bit there. Rick Shotgun Kelly's moved himself into second. That pack is back there with, there's John Burnside and Warren the Flying Fossil Moore. Mr. Standard sort of still hanging around, but 1 in 2 in points, 1 in 2 in the race here right now. But Philip Pedersen's gone in. He might be going in for some new tyres, maybe a bit of fuel. So I'm not sure exactly how much they packed fuel-wise. Let's see if I've got a fuel meter. Let's see. Bar gauge, fuel level. That looks good. Let's have a look at that. Move it over here. No, it's not telling me it is empty. Oh. Bit of contact there, I heard, just at the back of that screen, the 45. And I believe that's the 17 Buffalo Bill Schumacher, trying to keep it nice and tight, not sort of pull away from each other and break off into the track as the cars come around. Let's go back and just have another look, see what happened there. I'm going to call 3 and 4. Because they were up in the wall. Here they come down the backstretch. Oh, or was it just the 45 was coming up? Yeah, 45. Oh, not sure how the 45 might not have seen that. Might have had his eyes on something else, but just... I thought it was going to come a bit sooner where it looked like there was a little bit of space, but you see here, it's just... straight up and onto the side of him there. They'll both need to go into the pits, I think, but it doesn't look like they have. 45 has stayed out. All right, so Justin's taking Rick Shotgun Kelly. If Rick Shotgun Kelly can win this, Justin, and Chad Biesinger falls back a little bit, then Rick will win the championship. Griff, how are you, man? Yeah, I don't know what the, yeah, look, let's not talk ill of the drivers. Racing deal is what we'll call it, because we don't have to deal with race control. But yeah, look, I'm with you, Taz. Photo finish, it would be good, but it just I would like the 23, as we can see there on our screens, of Chad Bessinger, because he's got such a beautiful car. All right, everyone else has gone into the pits. Looks like the only three to stay out: Chad Bessinger, Christopher Standridge, and Craig Hawkins, who'll come into view in just a moment. Looks like Rick Shotgun Kelly, Warren the Flying Fossil Moore coming out of the pits. John Burnside as well, Joshua Braley, Buffalo Bill, John the General, Stu Kid, Wrench Wright, Tim Rua, my God. All right. Give me a second, lads and ladettes, just while we get to our one to green and double file these cars. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. I won't be a second. Yeah, Justin's he's definitely watched enough Bobith TV to pick the winners pretty well lately. Well, not lately, all the time. Um, but I've seen your little league thing that you got going, Taz. I've been wanting to get involved in that, but I just don't know. I don't watch enough NASCAR. I don't know who's who and whatnot. All right, it's going to be lap 29. We're going to go one to green. Looks like Craig Hawkins, though, is going to peel off very late for a pit stop. That is definitely going to put him. Oh, no, we might be still two to go, maybe. If some of the cars had to wait for a full lap to get around. No, one to green. There it is. So some of those guys going in a little bit later than they would want. Craig Hawkins, Buffalo Bill Schumatz, and John the General Schumatz. On the front row, though, it will be Chad Bessinger and Christopher Standridge, Rick Shotgun Kelly, and Joshua Braley on that second row. Third row is going to be John Burnside. Every time I see that, it looks so little, and it looks like Bumside. Um, sorry, John, I'm not taking the piss out of your name, mate. John Burnside, Craig Hawkins. No, Stu Kid right. Stu Kid Reg right. Tim Ruark and Jim Tasman Wardlow on the fourth row. Fifth row, Warren the Flying Fuff. So more. My God, am I having a stroke? Buffalo Bill Shermatz alongside him. Then Philip Peterson, John the General Shermatz. And I believe Craig Hawkins is out on the rear of the field. There he is, the 19 just coming into view at the back there. That drone cam, that's crazy. All right, here we go. Pace car going to leave the track. See, does Charlotte have a restart zone? Let's have a look. We'll see it come into view, and it's there. It is restart zone right there. These boys not going to fire until Barney waves that green flag. Rick Shotgun Kelly looks like he's got an inside run on Christopher Standridge. Going to go from third to second. Ed Bessinger, as always, a great start. Back there behind them in fourth is John Burnside, the 55 on the screen, but the 1 on our leaderboard. Kid Wrench right, Joshua Bradley. That's the 5. Sorry, Stu Kid Wrench right. It's the 5. Joshua Bradley in 6, falling back from 4th. We've given Chad a good look. Around the track, run a lap 31 of 70, coming close to the halfway mark. That's where we'll start to separate some of these guys. Christopher Standage and Chad Beesing are still yet to go into the pits. They've had 31 laps out on the track, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Pardon me. I would love one day. I've been beaten on many a racetrack by a Rakoski, and I would love to be beaten by one of them on Luke's track. I haven't ridden a go-kart in years though. I talk about that all the time to all my mates. It's like, who has a dirt racetrack in their backyard? Luke does. Oh, there's been contact. Can't quite see on the track map who that was. The 47 was definitely one of them. More on the Flying Fossil. More gone from 8th to last there. Let's go back a lap and just sort of see what we can see there. A little bit of contact from him in the 45. 45, of course, Tim Ruark. Where is it? Chase? Rear chase. It'd be chase. Is there a far chase, Bob? There is. I'm going to go back and have a better look at that there. There's the 47, the 45. Looked like the 47 just came up and I don't know if he thought he had the speed or... But the 7 also caught in that as well. That's our second caution of the night. Chris and Chad still yet to go into the pits. If Chad goes in, and I feel like he will this stop, this will be a first time in the entire race, 34 laps, that he has not been in the lead. But there we see the 33, the 22. Could definitely see the 6 and the 00. Can't quite tell who that other car is. The 131 of Stu Kid Wrench right, I believe. Aaron is a tough cookie on that little track he's dialed when he runs it. Aaron is no, yeah, that one's muscle memory for that kid. Look, I know I'm going to get beaten by Aaron. It's just Ava that's, she's the one I want to beat. But I reckon by the time I get over there, it's one of the I can never remember her name, and I feel so bad. Teal. His younger one will probably be just as good as Aaron is now by the time I get over there. So. All right, the 45 just coming out of the pits. It seems all the other cars all out on the lead lap. Tim Ruark's going to be a lap down, but it will be Rick Shotgun Kelly and John Burnside on the front row. Jim Tasman Wardlow, Buffalo Bill Shermat second row. Third row, Craig Hawkins and Stu Kid Wrench right. Chad Beesinger and John the General Shermat's on the next row. Behind them, Christopher Standridge and Warren the Flying Fossil Moore, and then Joshua Bradley and Tim Ruark. At least people will tell you knock knock. I miss them when we were doing the Mud Mule Esports Development League, the Powder Puff / Dev League, and we had Teresa and Greg Spiker join the league, and a couple others. Your daughter Amaris, Justin, she was great as well. Some fun times, some fun. Never a boring broadcast. Those ones, they were hilarious. And one of the very few race broadcasts that I actually left the on-track mics enabled for. The most, yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Fun fact, Teresa and Greg are now part of a massive Canadian league called VRX, sorry, VRX.ca. This massive Canadian NASCAR league that do a ton of hosted races and league races and give away some massive prizes like butt kickers and I think a steering wheel at one point and some other things. But yeah, she went from being a 305 sprint car driver in our dev league to she runs the show, man. Like they're so good. You do? Oh, that's good. Yeah, Justin watches it from time to time. I've tried to race a couple of them, but haven't been successful since getting my sim set back up. So yeah, really looking forward to love racing with her. It's just she had like mum voice, like just perfect. It's great when she's telling people off, and she's such a great driver. All right, Shotgun Pace Car has left the track. Rick Shotgun Kelly is our restarter. He's going to have John Burnside beside him, Jim Tasman Wardlaw and Buffalo Bill Shermat's behind them. Tim Ruark, Philip Pedersen still in the pits. Looks like they might have retired actually, or may have. See, I don't think I've got a count on the incident points. I know that Tim Ruark was involved in two of the the two cautions. So two main cautions, but he may have been dangerously close as well. So unfortunate way for him to wrap up the season, but I do know it won't be long before the Senior Circuits NASCAR Cup League begins all over again. Another 6 races. Yes, Justin, yeah. I just love their story. It was like, what, I think it was a Mother's Day race or something, and no, it was just a normal race, and Greg let Teresa race his sim, and they ended up getting her a full racing sim for Mother's Day. She loved it so much. And there was someone, I think their son as well, raced for a little bit. That was a great league. That was a lot of fun. Everyone teaching everyone the right lines and how to run the corners. But we're here for this Concord USA Charlotte Motor Speedway Championship round. Right now, the way that they sit, Chad Biesinger in 7th and Rick Shotgun Kelly in the lead. It is a mirror of how we started the 70 laps, 35 odd laps ago, with Chad being the race leader and Rick being back there at 7th or 8th. But at this stage, if Rick Shotgun Kelly wins this race, he will be the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League champion. Jim Tasman Wardlow up there alongside him, racing side by side. Looks like Jim feels like he has enough pace by himself with the side draft. Not content to just line up behind him. He does have the 17 at Buffalo Bill back there as well. He's trying to decide who does he help. Greg Hawkins is there. John the General rounding out the top 5. On the track map, the 1 of John Burnside, 2 laps down. He's racing his way into 3 and 4 now. Something must have happened off the track, or a little bit of smoke there. Nothing too crazy, but it looked like a little bit of traction loss. Riding along with the 19 of Craig Hawkins, we see the top 3 up in front. See those that we don't see a lot of his readout, just the speed, the time and the revs. You don't want his spotters spying on him. Chad Biesinger right there, top 5. Won't be enough to minimise the points damage. I believe he needs to be up there another position or 2. We start lap 43. Longest run without a pit at the moment. Rick Shotgun Kelly, Jim Tasman Wardlow has been 17 laps. We've still got 28 laps to go. That tells me that there wasn't enough for 35. So, well, just maybe enough for 35. So will they need to pit again? or will they have a very late run? I wish we could see their fuel counts. That would be so much handier. Down that backstretch into 3 and 4 for the 44th time. Rick Shotgun Kelly is our leader. Jim Tasman Wardlow. Craig Hawkins third. Fourth, Chad Beesinger fifth. Buffalo, Bill Shermatz in sixth. John the General Shermatz seventh. Christopher Standridge. Warren the Flying Fossil in eighth. Ninth, Stu Kid Wrench Wright. Joshua Brawley 10th. 11th, Don Burnside, and then unfortunately retired and watching from the comfort of the corporate boxes, Tim Ruark and Philip Peterson, both retiring about 10-11 laps ago. There's the 00 and the 17. That's 5th and 6th. John the General and Buffalo. Bill Shermatz. The 22 of Christopher Standridge coming in between them. The 47 of Warren the Flying Fossil Moore. Who else has joined at that party? I think that was the 131 of Stu Kid Wrench Wright. Maybe Joshua Brawley as well. Oh, caution has come out. Looks like something's happened between the 17 and the 47. Let's go back and see if we can see what's happened here. Oh, trying to find a good camera angle. Just drifted up the track like they, as I say, it's just a slight motion. You don't realize it, but it happens coming out of 4. If you're not watching yourself, you will shoot up a little bit further than you expect. Looks like that's what's happened there and brought out our third caution with 23 laps to go on the 48th lap. It's going to be about lap 51 when we get this one going again. Yeah, fuel is in question. I pit here. That is very, very true. As I say, Rick Shotgun Kelly, Jim Tasman Wardlow, both 22 lap runs, green flag runs, 20 lap green flag run for Craig Hawkins. And then for 4th to 8th, Chad Beesinger, John the General Schumatz, Christopher Standridge, Stu Kid Wrench Wright, Joshua Brawley and Warren the Flying Fossil Moore, 14 to 15 lap green flag runs. So let's see who's going to pit here. While they do, I'll be back in just one moment. I wish I had a little ad break I could play here, but maybe I'll look for sponsors one day. And yeah, have little videos, little jingles to play. All right, I'll be back in a moment, guys. All right, looks like we're hitting the 2 to go mark. 21 laps to go. We're at our 50th lap. Looks like Rick Shotgun Kelly, Craig Hawkins, Chad Biesinger, John the General Schumatz, Christopher Standridge, and Joshua Brawley did not take your advice, Justin or Taz. So let's see how that plays out. I wonder if they feel like there might be one more caution. But they have not pit. Alright, as we get to the 51st lap, my math was wrong. It's going to be the 52nd lap that we go green on this one. Will be 19 to go. 20 to go. We'll get them side by side. The order will be Rick Shotgun Kelly and Craig Hawkins on the front row. Second row, Chad Biesinger, and John the General Schumatz. Third row will be Christopher Standridge and Josh Brawley, Tasman Wardlow and Stu Kidwrench right. They're on that fourth row. Fifth row is going to be the Flying Fossil, Warren Moore, and Buffalo Bill Schumatz on that sixth row all by himself. Still a lap down, but still plenty of laps remaining. John Burnside, our quickest car tonight, 31.067 is Rick Shotgun Kelly, our race restarter. You got to think though, Chad Biesinger is right behind him on the grid now, so going to be interesting. Alright, as they hit the midway of 3 and 4, pace car will leave as we switch to the next camera. No, he won't. We've got one more before he does. He's going to drop down, leave the track here. We're going to get this one restarted. As Barney Taylor will wave the green flag to signify the start, as he does madly. Off and racing. No surprises. Chad Biesinger moves himself into second off that start. He was in third behind Rick Shotgun Kelly to pole position, and he was always going to follow him out. Now those two though, 26 and 24 lap green flag runs. So fuel will be a concern before we get to the finish of this race, possibly. You got to think with this configuration, I don't think it'll be enough points for Rick to take the lead in the championship. It's going to scroll down to the championships. There we go, NASCAR League. It is currently 216 points with 3 wins. Chad Biesinger, Rick Shotgun Kelly with the other 3 wins, 206. The only other winner in this series, Wayne Bridges. But 206 to 216. Season scorings. Let's see. There's a 5-point differential, 40 and 35 points. No points for qualifying. At this stage, you've got to think Chad Biesinger, while he'll be second in the race, if he holds it like this, he will win the championship. So, sort of bittersweet for Rick Shotgun Kelly winning the race and still managing to come second, but I'm not going to jinx either guy yet. 16 laps still to come. Lap 55 underway. Christopher Standridge, Craig Hawkins, John the General Schumatz are behind our first 1 and 2. We'll get that out in a minute there, Bob. Joshua Barley, Stu Kid, Barley, sorry, Stu Kid, Wrench right, Jim at Tasman Water, and Warren the Flying Fossil Moore. Looks like Buffalo Bill Schumetz in the pits. John Burnside in 11th, but he'll be able to get a lap on Buffalo Bill here, possibly. Buffalo Bill rolling out now. Looks like, yep, there we go. John Burnside moving himself up into 10, riding along on the bonnet of our current race leader, Rick Shotgun Kelly. 10 points behind the leader. Will only gain 5 extra points in this configuration, so he absolutely needs Rick to fall down to, say, 4th or 5th. Not Rick, sorry, Chad Biesinger. Lap 57 underway, 14 to come. Have had 3 portions in this race. Not everyone taking advantage of those possible pit visits. From Chad, I big picture and just run away with shotgun. Yeah, well, Chad's just going to finish 2nd. He's got the championship, so let Rick take the win. And, yeah, just walk away with the gold, man. But Christopher Standridge back there as well. Craig Hawkins, they're there wanting to, I guess, upset that dream. They can gift Rick Shotgun Kelly a championship if they can get up past Chad. And 13 laps to go. It is possible. We'll have to wait and see. Lap time wise, quickest last lap was Christopher Standridge, 31.287. Chad Biesinger, 31.443 and 31.307. 301, sorry, for Rick Shotgun Kelly. Craig Hawkins behind behind Christopher rather, 31.314. Chad had the quicker lap that time, 31.152. So yeah, race speed's going to be a bit difficult. You're going to be able to keep up with them. Passing might be a problem. .33 green flag laps run by Rick Kelly. Chad Biesinger 25. If fuel is a concern, you've got to think it's going to favour Chad over Rick. .11 cars in this race. 2 of them not on the lead lap. John Burnside in 10th. He's a lap down. Buffalo Bill Schumetz in 11th with 2 laps down, but above them, Warren the Flying Fossil Moore in 9th. Jim Tasman Wardlow in 8th with 10 to go. 7th, Stu Kid Wrench right. 6th, Joshua Barley. We've got our top 5, John the General Shermatz, Craig Hawkins, Christopher Standridge, and then the 2 guys battling it out for the win and the championship on the track here. Chad Biesinger, Rick Shotgun Kelly. There's Rick. There's Chad just coming into screen. We do have the I don't know where I was going to go with that. Alright, with 8 to go, let's jump back around through the track, just see a couple of other drivers before we watch out this final battle between Chad Biesinger and Rick Shotgun Kelly. There's Christopher Standridge, Craig Hawkins, John the General Shermatz, Joshua Barley. Just see back behind them, Stu Kid, Wrench right, John Burnside, Jim Tasman, Wardlow as well. Seven laps to go, the 17 of Buffalo Bill Shermatz. The lead cars, the 32 and the 23, definitely coming up on him quickly. I feel like they will encounter him within the next 7 laps. In fact, I feel like is he slowing down to let him pass? He is dropping it down below the blue line. Good on you, Buffalo. That's a good thing to do. Knows he's not involved in that portion of the race. top three still not like the third position still not locked in yet. Christopher Standridge, Craig Hawkins, John the General Schumatz, Joshua Bradley all battling for it. But up the front with just about 5 to go, and as Justin puts correctly, putting a nice gap there between everyone. Chad Beasing, I blanked on names for a second there. Chad Beasing and Rick Kelly. I feel like we've picked it. I feel like Chad's just going to be happy to push Rick as far as Rick needs to go. Rick can take the win. 5 points difference in 5 points difference in positions isn't going to be enough for the championship win. But with 4 to go, what if Chad decided I want the win and tried to take him on? What would happen there? Would he try that? It looked like he just poked his nose up to have a bit of a look. I guess to see maybe if he had some run there, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We're definitely going to stick with this portion of the race. If anything happens and a caution comes out, we'll jump back and have a look at it. But 1 and 2 in championship points, 1 and 2 in the race, 2 and 1 in championship points, 1 and 2 in the race. You reckon wait till that last lap? Would you go the slingshot out of 4? Would you try something out of 4, or would you try something in 1 and 2 and get the run on him in the backstretch? I always leave it to 3 and 4 and end up falling back to like 5th because everyone else gets a run on us. Here it wouldn't be such a big issue. But, yeah. BSR versus Chaos Motorsports. These two have had some pretty fun battles throughout this race season, the NASCAR Cup League. I can't believe it's over. It only feels like Chris just asked me to do it. But Chris and I, we did have a chat yesterday, last night, this morning, I don't know, one of our times. And yeah, happily said if he wants to continue another season, and he indicated he is, then we will stick alongside with him. All right, well, here we go. Penultimate lap is over. We are now officially on the white flag lap. Just 1 lap to go. You're going to try it in 1 and 2. Let's have a look and see what happens here. Oh, Rick getting a little low. The apron can be a little bit deadly here. Maybe he's got enough tyre wear, enough throttle control to get down there and stay down there. Only problem with that run is the push out of 4 on the start-finish line if you're not low enough, which they are. There we go. Oh, look at that for a finish. Oh, Chad! He was racing up. It just picked the wall as he got to the line. It is going to be Rick Shotgun Kelly, our winner, as correctly picked by Justin Stone yet again. Chad Beesinger second. Third's going to be Craig Hawkins. John the General Schumatz fourth. Joshua Bradley fifth. Sixth, Christopher Standridge. 7th, Stu Kidwrench right. 8th, Jim Tasman Wardlow. Warren the Flying Fossil Moore finished 9th. 10th and 11th, John Burnside and Buffalo Bill Shermatz. And then Tim Ruark and Philip Peterson finishing in 12th and 13th, rounding out that 13-car field. Congratulations, Rick, for taking out the win. But congratulations, Chad. He will be the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League champion. Excuse me. All right, let's go over to the Discord and have a chat to the boys as they park those cars on pit lane. There we go. Now I got the right Discord. Oh no, it's not. I went to Knuckleheads. Oh my god. All right. I was hoping that Rick Kelly was going to be here as well, so I could do him first and sort of come back to you and do the whole bit. Don't want to spoil the math, but congratulations, Chad, finishing second. I think you led half the laps here at least before that first pit stop. But that second place finish is going to secure the NASCAR Cup League Championship for the senior circuit. The senior circuit. I always call it the something else. Okay.
Are you
Short circuit. The short circuit, as in the movie. I keep saying short circuit instead of senior circuit. Had a little bit of a stroke today, I think. Not you wouldn't have heard, but just before the broadcast, I had a person knock on the studio doors and tell me that my roof was on fire. We have,
Oh man.
yeah, we had a few solar panels. I have a few, about 5 or 6 solar panels on the roof, and the junction box that connects them all decided it was going to short out and go up in flames. So, yeah, it was a bit hit or miss. I've been a bit rattled
Holy
this
cow.
morning. So yeah, so apologies for any of the missed calls and the incorrect naming. I got you guys back to front a lot of times throughout that race, but yeah. Congratulations, Chad, taking out the NASCAR Cup League. So you guys traded wins pretty much. I think Wayne Bridges was the only other guy to get a win in this championship. I know you, of course, through the Knuckleheads iRacing League Dirt stuff, but I'm starting to feel like asphalt's more your bag, Chad.
Oh, it is. But I thought, see, I mean, I thought Rick and I were tied going into this race, so I thought with him winning puts him as the champion.
No, you were 216 points. He was on 206, so there was a 10-point difference. And
So,
there's yeah,
oh,
50 points for the win, 45 for second place. Let me jump back over. We'll see if it's added itself up. I don't want Chris to come here and tell me off, but
yeah,
when
no,
I
Chris,
looked before the race, yeah, 10-point difference. That there we go. So yeah, so 5 points, 251 to 246 in the end.
I don't see, Rick, didn't Chris do the points right before the race and show us tied?
Yeah, we were both tied at 211.
So,
So I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what is he doing for points? Because I know iRacing itself showed differently.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
either way, you know what? It was fun, and if Rick got it, man, that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, if you're listening, Chris, feel free to jump in and set one of us straight. I won't officially. We'll talk about the race itself then, just in
Uh-huh.
case until Chris comes. But yeah, now that last green flag run. Obviously, I'll cover it with Rick in a moment. But you had 37 laps. Now, generally with fuel, I found that it's usually around that 40% mark that you can't run on one fuel stop. There's always that second fuel stop. Now we did have 3 cautions. Were you able to grab a little bit extra fuel on that? So I guess that early stop was fuel a concern? I guess for you guys, Craig Hawkins, he had 43 green flag laps as well. What was fuel a concern towards the end there?
Not for me, but I stopped pretty much at halfway. That caution that fell, we restarted at halfway, so I
Yeah.
was good.
And it was pretty much a mirror that restart. It was like, so the start of the race was you obviously up in pole, and I think Rick wait back in about, yeah, eighth, and then on that restart, he was up there in pole. You were back there in eighth, but like each guy, did not take you long out of those next 35 laps to get back up in to the challenge. I thought with the last half of that race that, and a couple of the guys were talking via the chat as well, that because of that 10-point difference in the championship, that it felt like that, yeah, you were happy to just sort of sit behind him. I'm just trying to click through some of the other
Oh
other
no.
divisions to see if there's any other points, but
No,
did you try and pass him at any point in those last sort of 20
yeah,
laps?
yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna force the issue at all, but I got inside him once, and I didn't want to push up. And with I don't know, Rick's really good without blocking. He taking away the line that you want to use.
Yep.
And That I mean, to me that's definitely to me it's clean, hard, good racing. He wasn't like reacting to me moving one way or the other. He was just doing a great job of using my line, and I got close, but I mean, him and I feel like both of us really like clean, hard racing, and
Yeah.
so I wasn't going to do anything dumb because he never has to me.
And that's what it sort of looked like. Well, all season really. It was if you sort of broke it down to its most simplest. On any track, there's three basically lines you can run: the best line, the average line, or the worst line, so to speak, and the not good line. And I think that Rick and yourself and a number of drivers, they were taking away the best line, and then you had to sort of choose. Okay, do I just stick behind them? Do I try the medium? Do I go a bit wider, and which is a bit longer, a little bit slower? And we saw as well coming out of four. I spoke about at the start of the broadcast. If you do come out of four just that little bit higher than you're used to, the car naturally floats up a bit. It's just part of that, the way it
Yeah.
straightens. And that wall, the exit of four, and just before start finish, which I did see you tap, I think, right there at the end on that last lap.
Hmm.
Just that speed, just that push, the way the car travels up through that seemed to be the difficult part of the track tonight.
Yeah. That's I kind of figured out in practice. As much as I had to slow down to stay on the bottom off four, because when it drifted up like that, it seemed like that right front just got hot and started killing it, and then you were done.
Yeah, definitely. Now backstretch. Coming up to like there was only a little bit of lap traffic, things like that. Backstretch seemed to be where a lot of the competition was coming through the field, I guess, for both of you guys in those packs. It looked like, and it was at the end of it, Craig Hawkins, John Shemus, Joshua Bradley, Christian Standridge, but I know that a couple of those other guys, Tim Ruark, Buffalo Bill was up there for a while. John Burnside spent a lot of the first half up there. Couple of newer drivers on the track. Did that sort of make it a bit trickier, not knowing sort of what to? You've raced these guys a lot of them 6 or 7 times now. Coming into this race, we did have a couple of newer guys. Did that make it a bit sort of put you on the back foot a bit in terms of being a bit more defensive, or do you just sort of go for it knowing that you've got a good thing here and the drivers that sort of come along generally mesh well?
I mean, I thought everything meshed well, but I just, I don't know. When I came out, after the pits towards the back there, I just kept telling myself to be patient and let things thin out a bit instead of forcing the issue. And I figured I would get up there, back to Rick eventually. Um, just like you said, when a lot of the guys, they'd be so tight off four, and then when it would finally grab, then they'd come back down. And so I was trying to stay away from that danger zone, and then also sometimes off two. And it was I don't know. I guess that didn't really answer your question, but I
No,
don't know.
it did. It
It
did.
didn't
No,
matter who it was or
yeah,
how long I've known him. I was just trying to be patient.
yeah. No, and that seems to be the order of the day. A lot of the guys, Craig Hawkins was one of them. John General, Stu Kid Wrench Wright, some of the guys that started at the back and managed to finish in that top half. And for the first 35 laps before that first pit, they really just had their own little pack at the back of the pack. So they had their own little 6-car draft, which kept them race speed, but they weren't really, had time to sort of check up for anything that might have happened and things like that. And patience seemed to be the reason a lot of those, some of the guys we had a couple drop out a bit early, maybe a little bit more, just a fraction more patience and, race out the last half of the race and the results could have been a bit different. Well, we haven't heard from Chris yet. I'm going by iRacing points, but we'll let Chris make the official announcement. So congratulations, you two. Awesome racing all season, but especially you, Chad, and obviously the wrap today. Loved it, absolutely loved it. The
Oh,
camera just
thanks.
was drawn to it whenever it was able to. I had no control over that.
Yeah.
But before we let you go, and I have announced, I have spoken to Chris. We do know that the NASCAR Cup League will be back. That it's something
Yes.
he does look like he will be running. So we'll have you guys back on our screens again and we'll see which one of you guys is the defending champion. And I'm sure it's going to be just as close next season. Before we let you go, though, Chad, there is a team that goes into all of this: friends, family, and sponsors. Who'd you like to give a shout out to?
My wife Michelle, for sure, for putting up with me doing this stuff. And then again, thank you for the broadcast and all the guys in the league. And thanks to Rick, because I had a blast this whole season racing with him.
Definitely,
Yeah,
man.
good times, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank both of you for putting on such a good race season. It's yeah, it makes my job super easy. All right, that was obviously Chad Priesing, and normally I jump from channel to channel, and there's a little gap, but we've obviously you just heard Rick Shotgun Kelly, man. We've got a guy that jumps into the chat almost every race through a lot of the leagues that I broadcast, and he just has this knack, Justin Stone, of picking the winner. Normally he'll sometimes he'll go safe and pick a row, and other times he will directly call out a car, and he does it early enough that it's not like, oh yeah, they're dominating, they're going to be the best one. And he called you out and said you were going to be tonight's winner, and I don't know if it's him anti-jinxing you, allowing you to get the win, or if he's just really good at seeing who is the talent on the track. But yeah, you've definitely need to give him a mental shout out, because yeah, I don't know how much of his work went into that win, but starting eighth and racing away, as we said to Chad, it wasn't until I think that first pit stop, three of you stayed out. Yourself, I'm trying to remember who it was now. I think Craig Hawkins and maybe Christopher Standridge, I believe, at the time, and didn't go in until that second caution. Fuel sounded like I thought it was going to be a little bit lower, but obviously enough. If you got to the halfway mark, we're able to refuel. Tire wear, that last lap, we're going to jump ahead a bit. That last lap, you're able to, well, last two laps, you were able to keep it nice and low and nice and quick. What goes into tire wear at Charlotte? Into preserving tire and preventing that extra tire wear at Charlotte? Because it sounds like you managed to hold on to a little bit of extra rubber there.
Yeah, well, I knew Chad had to pit. I don't know exactly when I did pit. It may have been the second caution, but it was a little too early actually, and I took all 4 tires and a full tank of fuel, and then I got out there and then I looked at everything, and I'm like, "Oh crap, I don't have enough fuel." I s I needed at least 3 laps of fuel. So, I started saving immediately, and, that, basically just clutching and being easy on and off the throttle as
Yep.
best I could, and try not to be too racy, and starting back where I did, I really wanted to be up front, but I bombed in qualifying big time, was way off my practice time, and I wanted well, I knew Chad was gonna be up front. He was gonna be, the one to beat for sure, but, I wanted to stay close to him, and I just wanted to kinda let him put the pace down, possibly burn off his tires, and then I would stay back and kinda just save as best I could.
Yep.
Obviously, with the cautions we had, things didn't turn out that way. I did end up working my way back up to him, but, he was so far out in front that I'm like, "Okay, he's gonna blow his tires off. I'll eventually catch him, and that'll be that." But, we had another caution that tightened everything up. It also gave Chad the chance to go in and get tires. That's when I thought I was in trouble because he was gonna have fresh rubber.
Yeah, 10 laps
Didn't have to
cleaner
worry
rubber.
about
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, didn't have to worry about fuel, and, I don't know how many laps better tires he was gonna have than me, but it was gonna be bad, I just knew it, and, when he got to me. So, I hoped he got held up a little bit in traffic, but then we had another caution, and boom, there he was, right on my bumper. So, I really I kinda watched him in my mirror quite a bit, and I noticed that going into especially turn 1, he wasn't going in probably half as hard as I was.
Yep.
I was really going in deep, getting on the brake and coming off. He was way back. I don't know if maybe just tapping the brake or maybe not using brake at all, rolling through and really getting on the throttle and would gain on me on that backstretch.
Yep.
and I knew it was just a matter of time before he got enough. My tires were going to be worn down that he was going to end up getting by. So I did exactly what he was talking about. I tried to take away his line, not to block, but um, to try and keep the air off his nose so he couldn't draft as much down the backstretch. He couldn't, come right up on me. And I did that a lot. And by doing that, I also backed up my corners, um, trying to stop him from getting those runs. And that definitely worked.
Yeah, definitely did, and it looked great because, as you say, it wasn't that just getting in front of his face all the time and trying just to have him slow down. It was just taking away opportunity and not providing any of that excuse me, any of that air, that draft. Now we are talking to some of the guys in the chat, and we thought some of that side draft might have been there, and that there could have been an opportunity for him in 1 and 2. I was hoping for 3 and 4, but it looked like he had a good run out of 4. It wasn't until he tapped that wall that momentum. I thought it was always you going to be win the race, but I thought it was going to look good on camera in terms of how close he was going to sort of come up on you at the finish line there. But he tapped that wall. Charlotte, in any form, whether it's the dirt track at Charlotte or it's this one here, two of my favorite tracks on the sim. I think both racing wise and driving on them. I've enjoyed a lot of success on both, and I always love it when his championship wraps up there because I think it's not an easy track, not a hard track, but it's a bloody good race track. Like you just have some good one-on-one competition on
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat for sure.
there.
Um, I think there's still marks in my steering wheel from hanging on so tight.
White
Um,
knuckle,
it,
yeah.
it it was just real tough racing, and of course we went into this thinking that we're tied in points. We don't know who got the championship, who didn't. I know what iRace is saying,
Yep.
and if that's true, then Chad deserves it. That's awesome. Um, he's a good competitor for sure, and does a good job behind the wheel. And it's definitely a privilege to race with someone like that who he sees respect and gives it back.
Yeah. And it's
And
you're only gonna
that's hard to come by in iRacing
oh,
sometimes.
definitely is especially like it's such an available platform that yeah, it's rare to have that level of competition, but also, like, apologies for almost talking over you there. You only get better from it. You can be as good as you are, but you're not going to get better if you're not challenged. And I think that's where this league really excels. If we look back through race speed, everyone's best lap was basically 13:06 to 31. Oh, there's a 31.4, but 31 ones and 31 twos. It's very little. It's like very like 1/10, 2/10 uh, top speed difference between start to finish. And when you do have race speed, that was one thing I did call out about Chad because you guys had very similar laps. Craig Hawkins looked like he was potentially going to race up in there because he was having slightly faster lap times. But it's one thing to be quicker than the car in front of you, but to be able to have that speed to get to them and get past them is very hard. So you drove a great defensive race while not being overly defensive in that last sort of, I guess, 20 laps, I think it was. Trying to sort of calculate off the pits. I think, yeah, about the last 20, 15 laps was the last caution. So now I can't wait when Chris said, did we want to do it again? I was like, yep, straight away. I was just like, yeah, no, definitely.
Right.
You guys are awesome. So as I said before, whether it's, you know, Chad coming in next week to like, I hope Chris is not too upset at me letting the cat out of the bag already, but up next week, it's not going to be long before either Chad's defending his championship against you again, or you're defending that championship against him. But either way, the battle's just pick back up next week. It's really just bragging rights for a week, and we get straight back to it. So I can't wait to
Right.
watch you guys race. And I've said this before. We've got a famous Australian V8 supercar, Rick Kelly, the Kelly brothers,
I
and
actually looked him up after you told me.
and yeah, so I always love seeing your name high up. It's something that, yeah, when and I grew up with probably part of that same family, but I don't know. But down here in Tasmania, both my mum and my stepdad raced dirt when I was a kid, so we had the Kellys. Um, Actually, no, they were Americans. They had a bunch of American sprint car and what we called Grand Nationals, but they're your late models, super late models.
Right.
Um, and we'd have all these like USA versus Australia races there, and so yeah, the Kellys once again big racing names. So it's cool to see, and it is this like obviously that one was spelt the same as yours with the extra e. Ours is without the extra e at the end. But
Right.
yeah, it's good to see that the Kelly name's still strong in race car driving. It's good to see. I love it.
Well, at least sim racing, you know. I mean, I wish I could say I've actually raced behind a wheel of a real car. You know, yes, I've drove one, but I've never raced at all in my life.
Yep.
So this is definitely a lot cheaper to do.
No, definitely, definitely. It's funny because when I started the sim racing and I found iRacing and my step dad, he passed a few years back, and I always said he would have loved this sort of thing. On one hand, he would love it because he'd still be able to race and it'd be a lot cheaper. But he always tries, as me as a kid, to get me into a race car. And I did go passenger a few times, but never actually raced one myself. And I think he sort of, like maybe was, yeah, not upset, but you know what I mean? Like he was, a bit disappointed. And I think he'd be like, that'd be bloody right. And, he's finally behind the wheel of a
Right.
race car and it's on a race sim with triple screens and all this high tech junk. But I remember when we used to play V8 supercars out in the outdoor area on the Xbox way back when, and he was impressed with the sound effects, like the engine sounded like the proper engine gearboxes and stuff. So
Right.
he started racing with us, and we almost got him latched into it. But no, I think he would have loved. He would have loved this world.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, look, congratulations, and not to give Chad all the hype, but if the points were tied, coming in with the way Chris has done it, and you've won it, congratulations. As I say, next week, one of you've got to defend it, so it's straight back to business. But friends, family,
Right.
sponsors, obviously, you've got to
Yeah.
give your
I'll
shout
give thank
outs.
you for the broadcast again for sure. You do a great job with it, and we really appreciate it. All the admins that put the league together. Big shout out to those guys. They put a lot of time into it, and it's definitely appreciated. And I got to thank my wife, of course, and she loves it when I thank her. But she's my rock, and she lets me do this at night instead of being upstairs with her. So
Yep.
I definitely got to thank her.
Definitely, definitely. As I've always, since day one, called them the unsung heroes of our virtual pit crews. The wives, girlfriends, partners allow us to do the hobby, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I've got girlfriend duties after this, so we all pay the dues to do what we do. But all
Yeah,
right,
and hopefully I make all the races next season. So I didn't make them all this season. I think I came in, I don't know, one race after or something
yeah.
like that. So, but look forward to it.
But if you can be as consistent as you were in that top three run, yeah, it should not be a problem. But nah, look, best of luck, my friend. Can't wait to see you guys back out on the track when we start the new season all over again next week.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, that was Rick Kelly and Chad Biesinger, 1 and 2 here tonight in the NASCAR Cup League finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The iRacing scoring system has Chad Biesinger by 5 points, the champion. Chris talked to the lads before the race and had them scored at 211 apiece, which would put Rick Kelly as the champion. So I'm going to leave that up to Chris to announce and decide. But yeah, we'll be back next week for the return of the Senior Circuit NASCAR Cup League Round 1. Season 2 starts all over again, guys. Can't wait. All right, join us tomorrow night, Friday, 8 p.m. Australian. So Friday morning for the US viewers for the Australian NASCAR Series, NASCAR Trucks, powered by Beat the Dark, Mental Health Matters. And then we're back again Sunday night, US, to do it all over again for the Knuckleheads iRacing League. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Bob. Boy. And it should be number 1, as I say, with the logo up. Bye, guys.